My fiancée Lila was planning a self-driving trip to Tibet with her best guy friend Jake. A man and a woman alone in a car for over a month. Driving all the way to Tibet and back. I said. If he's got good aim. She'll be pregnant with twins by the time they get back. Am I supposed to just wait around to raise another man's kid? Jake and I are just friends. Purely platonic. We could lie in the same bed together and nothing would happen. So this Tibet road trip is non-negotiable. Yes. I texted my assistant Victor. 5 minutes. I want everything on Jake Morrison's girlfriend. Then I called my dad. You might want to sit down. Looks like we're swapping out the future daughter-in-law. My fiancée Lila was planning a self-driving trip to Tibet with her best guy friend Jake. She said she wanted to purify her mind, body, and soul before the wedding. So she could give me a brand new version of herself on our wedding night. I put my foot down. Save that bullshit for someone who'll buy it. A man and a woman alone in a car for over a month. Driving all the way to Tibet and back. If he's got good aim. She'll be pregnant with twins by the time they get back. Am I supposed to just wait around to raise another man's kid? Lila's temper flared. What is wrong with you? Jake and I are just friends. Purely platonic. We could lie in the same bed together and nothing would happen. I zeroed in on the key detail. So you have slept in the same bed before? That's not what I meant. It was just a figure of speech. Jake and I grew up together. He's like a little brother to me. Ethan. Why do you always have to overthink everything? I raised an eyebrow. So did you or didn't you? Don't you trust me? Yes. Or no. You're impossible. Yes. Or no. Lila's eyes darted away. She hesitated. Then lifted her chin defiantly to meet my stare. Just. Once or twice on business trips. I got drunk. Jake walked me back to the hotel. He didn't want to leave me alone in the room. So he stayed on the other side of the bed to keep an eye on me. But nothing happened. I swear. We woke up fully clothed the next morning. Baby. You have to believe me. My heart and my body belong to you. I have boundaries. Besides. Jake has a girlfriend. He sees me as an older sister. He'd never try anything. I'd put up with Jake's manipulative crap for long enough. He'd spent a few years messing around at some diploma mill in America. And ever since he got back, he'd been putting on this whole Wall Street hotshot act. His hair was slicked back so tight and shiny. An ant would slip and break its legs trying to climb it. Lila didn't even glance at his resume before hiring him as her executive assistant. Starting at $1 million a year. Worried he'd turn it down. She added a year-end bonus on top of that. Jake thought it over for ages before finally agreeing. Telling her he'd turned down offers from Goldman and J.P. Morgan just for her. Lila got so flattered. She bumped his salary up another $200,000. I've got another question. You're the CEO and he's your assistant. What happens to the company if you're both gone for a month on a road trip? Lila draped her arms around my neck with a playful pout. Probably thinking she looked irresistible. But just thinking about her in bed with that snake made me sick to my stomach. You're here. Aren't you? You're the VP. You can hold down the fort for a month. I trust you to handle everything. Second question. You said Jake has a girlfriend. Doesn't she get jealous of how close you two are? Lila frowned. Annoyed. What do you mean? Close. Pick your words better. Jake and I have nothing to hide. Why do you always make him sound like such a bad guy? Fine. Does his girlfriend get jealous? Lila's eyes darted away again. She hesitated for a long moment before saying, She'll come around. Jake's explained it to her so many times. She's still upset about it. But we've done nothing wrong. We have nothing to be ashamed of. I gave her a sarcastic thumbs up. Bold move. You and Jake were made for each other. Honestly. Ethan. Lila was genuinely angry now. Stop with the snide comments. They hurt. You know. You're my future husband. I'm marrying you in a month. How can you talk about your own wife like that? I turned to look at Lila's parents, who were sitting at the dinner table with us. Her father Arthur was holding his wine glass, waiting for me to finish so we could toast. Come now. Ethan. Don't just talk. Have a drink with me. Lila's been spoiled her whole life. But I can promise you Thish's a good kid. No hidden agendas. I know my daughter. Do you feel the same way? Ma'am. Her mother Helen smiled eagerly and picked up her soda glass. We watched Jake grow up. He's always followed Lila around. Lila's an only child. So she's always treated him like a little brother. I can promise you there's nothing going on between them. Here's to you both. I'll toast with my drink. When I finally drank my wine, her parents beamed. Meanwhile, my eyes were glued to my phone. Jake had just posted something on his social media. It was a photo of a brand new Mercedes G63. Jake was standing in front of the hood, flashing a peace sign. The caption read, "Your knight is about to take his queen on the adventure of a lifetime." There were no likes. No comments, nothing below it. I realized he'd set the post so only I could see it. I held my phone out to Lila. "Your little snake friend is trying to get under my skin." Lila pulled out her own phone and scrolled, but couldn't find the post. She looked flustered, but tried to play it off. "It doesn't mean anything. He's just messing with you. You're always so harsh to him. If you think about it, this is kind of your fault." "Wait, what did you call him? How can you say that about Jake?" I texted my assistant Victor again. 5 minutes. I want every last detail on Jake Morrison's girlfriend. Also, have the driver bring the car around to the hotel entrance. I'll be down in 10 minutes. Before I left, I wanted to give her one last chance. I stood up and slipped on my jacket. Then asked Lila, "So this trip is really happening? No takebacks?" "Yes. Everything's booked. We even bought the car. We're definitely going. What if I come with you?" "Don't be ridiculous." "Fine. Got it. Have fun." Then, I called the manager over to pay the bill, told them something urgent had come up at work, and walked out of the private dining room. As soon as I was outside, I called my dad. "You might want to brace yourself. Looks like we're getting a new future daughter-in-law." My dad sighed heavily, like he'd seen this coming. Each generation's worse than the last. No Carter man has ever been this bad with women. You pour money and work into her company. Throw our family's contracts her way. You're a total simp. And simps end up with nothing. Critique the situation. Not me. All right. Just then, Victor sent over Jake's girlfriend's file. Scarlett Pierce, daughter of the Pierce Group CEO. Didn't think that Snake had it in him to land someone like that. I said to my dad, "Hypothetically speaking, what if I married the Pierce Group heiress? Would you have a problem with that? If you can land that girl, I'll step down as CEO this year." After hanging up with my dad, I decided to reach out to Scarlett first. Feel her out. Outside the hotel, a black extended Mercedes Maybach was already waiting. I got in and called Scarlett. "It's Ethan Carter." "Yeah. From Carter Group. And don't call me Principal Carter. That title's just for show." "Good." She knew who I was. This would be easier. I told her everything about Lila and Jake's road trip, then asked what she thought about it. Scarlett's voice was quiet. Dejected. "I know. I don't want him to go. We fought about it. We're not even talking right now. He says she's just his older sister figure. Tells me I'm overreacting. But a man and a woman alone in a car for a whole month. Unless he gets castrated before they leave. There's no way I'm buying that. Nothing'll happen. I liked this girl already. I decided to ask her to meet up. Talk things through properly. 3 o'clock that afternoon. At Coastline Cafe on Coastal Boulevard. Scarlett showed up right on time. She was gorgeous. Delicate features with a playful spark. If you compared her to Lila, she won in every category except maybe curves. I couldn't wrap my head around it. With a girlfriend this beautiful, this wealthy, why was Jake messing around with my fiancée? Was it just the thrill of it? They leave tomorrow. It's too late to talk him out of it. I even threatened to break up with him. But he wouldn't budge. It's so frustrating. He knows I'm wrapped around his finger. Scarlett looked defeated. She really cared about him. That much was clear. Great. Another simp. I couldn't lay out my whole plan right away. I had to ease her into it. I took a sip of my iced Americano. "Do you honestly believe nothing's gonna happen between them on this trip?" "I told you unless he gets castrated first. There's no way. Men don't behave until they're 6 feet under." I coughed. "Hey. Don't paint us all with the same brush. So what are you gonna do when they get back? Pretend nothing happened. Walk around with a pair of antlers on your head and act like everything's fine. You're the one with antlers. Your whole family's got antlers. She was kind of cute when she was mad. Well, what do you want to do then?" Scarlett looked at me. "I want to hear what you're thinking." Here's my plan: we swap. We steal each other's person. They get to run off together. Fine. We get together too. I laid all my cards on the table. Scarlett looked me up and down. Skeptical. Is this how you usually hit on girls? Desperate times call for desperate measures. People do arranged marriages and fall in love later. Right. Why can't we date first? Then see if it turns into something real. 1 month. We act like a couple. You don't go after my money. I don't make a move on you. If you think I'm not cutting it, you can end it whenever you want. And if I think you're doing okay, then we get married in a month. When those two get back, we invite them to the wedding. Make them bring cash gifts. Twist the knife. Really drive it home. That is so messed up. I love it. Deal. Then, Scarlett and I saw eye to eye immediately. One simp. One hopeless romantic. Turns out we had a lot more in common than we thought. Early the next morning, Jake pulled up downstairs in that brand new G63. Lila had packed 6 suitcases. Like she was moving out for good. It was basically a goodbye before the breakup, she just didn't know it yet. I still helped her load all the bags into the car. Wow. Lila. Your fiancé's so sweet to you. Jake was wearing sunglasses. Grinning that smug little grin at me. He just stood there, watching me haul every single bag. Lila looked pleased. Of course he is. Who else is my man gonna be nice to? After they drove off, Scarlett called me. Come over for dinner tonight. My parents want to meet you. Wait. Already? We're meeting the parents this fast. Just be there. No complaining. Or I'll deduct points. Scarlett had set up a point system for our little trial relationship. 10 points total. Every time I messed up, I'd lose 1 to 5 points. Depending on how bad it was. 0 points meant I was out. What if I do good? Do I get bonus points? Doing good is the bare minimum. No rewards for that. I told Victor to send over everything he had on Gregory Pierce, CEO of Pierce Group. 10 minutes later, a PDF landed in my messages. Gregory Pierce, 53. CEO of Pierce Group. He was an avid antique collector. I remembered my dad had a gilded bronze Nanhai Watermoon Guanyin statue from the 10th year of the Ming Dynasty's Xuanda era in his study. He'd bought it at Sotheby's Hong Kong for over 30 million Hong Kong dollars. That would make one hell of a first impression gift. I called my dad right away. When he heard I wanted to borrow his antique to impress a girl for some fake relationship trial, he sighed heavily again. Trial relationship, my ass. You're just being her backup plan. If you're just the backup, why blow such a huge gift on her? I took offense to that. That's not how I see it. I'm poaching her from Jake. Not being her backup. You gotta bait a trap to catch a chicken. Right. Same rules apply here. You need something good to win someone over. My dad had no comeback. He huffed and hung up on me. Turns out you've got to spend money to make money, and you've got to give up antiques to win over your future mother-in-law. When I brought the Guanyin statue to the Pierce Ma and Sion, even Gregory, who'd seen it all, couldn't hide his shock. He asked nervously, "Does your father know you brought this here?" Of course he does. He told me to say hello. By the way, what he'd actually said was, if Gregory accepted a gift that valuable and didn't let his daughter marry me, he'd raise hell with his entire family line. The dinner went off without a hitch. Everyone had a great time. Gregory had a bit too much to drink, and spent half the meal ranting about what a piece of work Jake was. He's got a girlfriend and he's off on a road trip with another woman. No boundaries at all. Poor Scarlett's been coming home crying every night because of him. I added fuel to the fire. And she's engaged to someone else. 2. Total scumbag move. Gregory slammed his fist on the table. Damn right. The worst of the worst. Scarlett's mom dabbed at her eyes and made me promise to treat her daughter right. I never liked Jake. He's so flighty. No substance. But Scarlett's such a romantic. She wouldn't listen to reason. Thank goodness both of you came to your senses before it was too late. She tapped Scarlett's smooth forehead lightly as she spoke. Under the table, a soft, delicate hand suddenly slipped into mine. I glanced over at Scarlett. She stuck her tongue out at me playfully. I pretended to brush a stray hair from her bangs, and leaned in to whisper in her ear, "Hey, deal was I don't make a move on you. You can't make a move on me either. For that." She stomped on my toe so hard I thought it'd bruise. She acted like nothing had happened. And I had to grind my teeth to keep from wincing. Just then, my phone pinged with a message. I checked. It was Lila. She'd sent a selfie from the passenger seat of the G63. She was pouting at the camera, making a little heart shape with her thumb and index finger. The text said, "Be good while I'm gone. Baby. No flirting with other girls. I'll be back in a month to be your beautiful bride. Other girls my ass." I was hanging out with a literal heiress. For crying out loud. I ignored the message and scrolled through my feed. Sure enough, Jake had posted again. This time it was a 9-photo grid. 8 landscape photos arranged around a center selfie of him and Lila, totally intentional. They were both grinning. Throwing peace signs. Perfectly framed. Caption, "Day 1 of the journey with my queen." For some reason, that last word rubbed me the wrong way. Again. No likes. No comments. Clearly, this post was also for my eyes only. Well, everyone saw that. He started it. I laced my fingers through Scarlett's and snapped a close-up photo of our hands. I had to hand it to myself, the shot came out great. Her pink traditional style nail art perfectly clear and glossy. Scarlett jumped. Her face flushing bright red. What are you doing? Not right now. Mr. and Mrs. Pierce exchanged a quick, knowing look, smiled to themselves, and sipped their drinks. After taking the photo, I tweaked the brightness and contrast. Sharpened it a little. Satisfied. I uploaded it to my feed. Caption, "First night with my princess." I set it so only Jake could see it. And hit post. Princess versus queen. Night versus day. I was a goddamn genius. No other way to put it. Less than a minute later, Jake liked the post. Comment 1, "Wow. Someone's living it up. Which gentleman's club did you hit up to find this one?" Comment 2, "Funny. That nail art looks just like my girlfriend's. Haha. Don't worry. I won't tell Lila. Turns out you can't trust a word that snake says." Less than 3 minutes later, Lila blew up my messages. She forwarded my post back to me. "So that's why you're ignoring me. You're out at clubs messing around with girls. And you blocked me from seeing your post. If you're gonna do it, own it. Why hide it? Text me back right now or I'll be really mad." 15 minutes later. "I know you're still mad at me. But this trip is something I've always wanted to do. Faking photos with some girl just to get back at me is so childish. You have 10 minutes to apologize. Or I'm not talking to you for real." I didn't have time for Lila's drama right then. Scarlett and I were holding hands, walking around the mansion's garden under the pretense of getting some fresh air to sober up, flirting the whole time. "You did pretty good tonight, Ethan. My parents really like you. I can tell." I pushed my luck. "So do I get a reward for good behavior?" I let you hold my hand. Didn't I?" Scarlett's voice was barely a whisper. "For the record, you grabbed my hand first. I was just along for the ride. Doesn't count as a reward. You're so, well, what do you want then?" We had a whole month ahead of us. Trying to skip to the final boss on day 1 felt too eager. Nah. Better to quit while I was ahead. I pointed to my cheek, putting on a playful, arrogant tone. "Your Highness. Bestow your seal of approval." Scarlett glanced around quickly, then stood on her tiptoes and pressed a quick kiss to my cheek. There. Happy now. That dinner at the Pierce mansion won me full approval from Scarlett's parents. And it brought Scarlett and me a lot closer. 2. I called my dad to give him an update. Not bad. That 30 million Hong Kong dollar antique didn't go to waste. At least. Early the next morning, my extended Maybach was parked outside the Pierce mansion. Scarlett came out right away. She was wearing a stylish cropped knit cardigan over a high-waisted pleated skirt, showing off long, toned legs with perfect, smooth lines. I mentally called Jake an idiot again, but put on my brightest smile. "Where are we going today?" As soon as she got in the car, she looked at me, excited. "We're gonna be out people for the day." The Maybach pulled up to Harbor Point Yacht Club before long. An 80-foot private yacht, the Star of Carter, was waiting for us at the dock. I have to say, the yacht idea was genius. Besides fishing, we could sunbathe out on the deck. And sunbathing meant bikinis. And if you're wearing a bikini, you need someone to help you put on sunscreen so you don't burn. You can't reach your whole back by yourself. You need a hand. And I I was that person. Once we'd both slathered on sunscreen. We lay side by side on the yacht's deck. Relaxing. I checked my phone. And Jake had posted again. Just one photo this time. He and Lila were wearing traditional Miao ethnic clothing. Grinning like they were having the time of their lives. And here's the kicker, they each held a bowl of wine. Arms linked. Drinking a cross-arm toast. Caption, Reborn. My queen and I in Kiandongnan. Guizhou. I snapped a quick photo of Scarlett's back. Perfect curves glowing in the sun. Uploaded it to my feed. Caption, Transcended. My princess and I getting close on the yacht. About 30 seconds later. Jake liked it. Comment 1, wow. Someone's really cutting loose. Huh. Comment 2, that back looks just like my girlfriend's. Hey. What's her name? Less than 2 minutes later. Lila was calling me. I declined the call. My messages started blowing up right after. Ping after ping after ping. Lila, Ethan. Are you serious right now? Lila, you rented a whole yacht just to make me mad. Is this really necessary? Lila, work says you haven't shown up in 2 days. What is wrong with you? Lila, I don't care what your excuse is. Be at the office tomorrow morning. Or you can forget about being VP. Lila, there's a line. Ethan. Keep this up and you'll ruin whatever's left of how I feel about you. That's all I have to say. For the next 2.5 weeks. Lila didn't call or text me once. She probably thought she was teaching me a lesson. Giving me the silent treatment, the kind of punishment where she wouldn't forgive me until I groveled and apologized. We'd done this song and dance before. I'd always caved first. No wonder my dad called me a simp. He was right. But the rose-colored glasses were off now. Her silent treatment felt more like a vacation than a punishment. It gave me 2 whole weeks to focus all my attention on Scarlett. Showing off like a peacock trying to impress a peahen. Our relationship had gotten real. Fast. The trial period ended early. We were official now. I'll spare you the details. This is a family-friendly story. After all, Jake, on the other hand, wouldn't quit. Every few days he'd post something else. Always set to only show up for me. The photos traced their route. Guizhou. Chengdu. Then onto the G318 National Highway. The southern Sichuan-Tibet route. Every stop brought a new batch of photos. Every caption was that same simpering. My queen garbage. I liked every single one. Like the mature adult I was. And every time, I'd post a faceless photo of me and Scarlett right back at him. With an equally over-the-top my princess caption to match. Jake would like every post. Then ask what the girl's name was. I never bothered replying. Guy was so oblivious. It was almost sad. A week before the month was up, Scarlett and I set a wedding date. When our parents met, my dad and Gregory were thrilled. My dad announced on the spot that he'd be stepping down as CEO by the end of the year. Gregory said he was getting too old for this too. And that Pierce group would be handed over to the younger generation soon. Something felt off. The way those 2 old men were grinning. It was like they'd planned this all along. That afternoon, Scarlett and I walked out of the county clerk's office. Scarlett looked at me softly. Mr. Carter. I'm looking forward to spending the rest of my life with you. I gave her a playful salute. Ms. Pierce. We're not stopping until we've got 6, 7, 8 kids running around. Scarlett laughed so hard she snort-laughed. Then chased me down the street pretending to hit me. I took a photo of our marriage license. Posted it to my feed. And set it so only Lila and Jake could see it. Caption. And the prince and princess lived happily ever after. Less than 15 seconds later. Jake called. I declined. Lila called. I declined that too. I blocked both of their numbers entirely. I didn't have time for phone calls. Both our families were having dinner together in a private hotel room to celebrate. The mood was perfect. Soon after, Jake sent a bunch of voice messages. Voice 1, Ethan. That's photoshopped. Right. There's no way you married Scarlett. This joke has gone way too far. Voice 2, Scarlett won't answer my calls. And neither will you. What the hell is going on with you two? Voice 3, come on man. Tell me this is just to get back at Lila. No matter what. You can't use my girlfriend like this. Voice 4, Ethan. Text me back. You're driving me crazy here. Lila sent a bunch of voice messages too. Voice 1, Ethan. You've crossed the line. I'm seriously rethinking our relationship. Voice 2, you keep surprising me. And not in a good way. This is so childish. So petty. Voice 3, do you have any idea how upset Jake is? If you faked that marriage license just to make me mad. Fine, you succeeded. I'm furious. And I'm never forgiving you for this. Never. Voice 4, call Jake right now. Apologize to him. Explain yourself. Now. After the license. It was time for wedding photos. I hired the ISPWP Wedding Photographer of the Year and his team to come with us to the Maldives for a destination shoot. 5 days round trip. Packed full of shoots. When the edited photos came back, every single one was stunning world-class work. Scarlett was over the moon. Do you think it's time we made it official? Publicly. Jake's been calling me from different numbers all week, begging to know what's going on between us. I pulled her close. What did you tell him? I hang up as soon as I hear his voice. He switched to voice messages. One after another. All 60 seconds long. I just archived them all. He's so annoying. He always acted so cool and distant around me. Turns out it was all an act. I was so stupid. If you hadn't said keeping him on Messenger was useful, I would have blocked him ages ago. Block him. Where's the fun in twisting the knife then? I picked out the 9 best wedding photos and sent them to Scarlett. 9 photo grid. Let's make it official. This time. We post it for everyone. Scarlett and I posted our 9 photo wedding grids at the exact same time. With matching captions. Mine, spend the rest of your life with me. Ms. Pierce. Hers, spend the rest of my life with you. Mr. Carter. Within minutes. Our feeds blew up. Hundreds of likes and comments pouring in. Wait. You two are together. Did I miss something huge? Classic Ethan. Always going big. Congratulations. Hope you two have a beautiful baby soon. Wait. Wasn't Ethan engaged to Lila from Bennett Corp? When did he start seeing Scarlett Pierce? Guess rich people really do live in a different world. Scarlett's phone and mine rang at the same time. Both were unknown numbers. Scarlett declined hers immediately. Then looked at me with a mischievous, entertained grin. I pretended to be annoyed and booped her nose. I answered my phone calmly. And put it on speaker. Ethan. What? What was that on your feed? Lila's voice was shaking. Broken and defeated. Our wedding announcement. My tone was perfectly even. Oh. And Scarlett and I are getting married on the 8th next month. You should be back from your road trip by then. I'll have someone send you an invitation. If you're free, come have a drink with us. If not, just send a cash gift. It'd be rude to skip out entirely. Don't you think? Lila's voice cracked. You're joking. Right. Baby. Tell me this is a joke. Please. Suddenly there was noise in the background. And Jake's voice cut in. Ethan. You can't marry Scarlett. She's my girlfriend. She's supposed to marry me. Your fiancée is Lila. How could you do this? I scoffed. Correction fiancée. She's off on a road trip with her best guy friend. Isn't she? A whole month alone together. Sounds like a great time. No. That's not. Baby. Let me explain. Lila's voice burst in. Frantic. Gone was her cold, proud queen act. She sounded completely panicked now. Let's be real here. In your little Nightan Queen roleplay, Scarlett and I are the wronged ones. Is it so wrong we found comfort in each other? You've seen movies, right? When people find comfort in each other, clothes just get in the way. Basic physics. Really? Scarlett kicked me lightly under the table, pretending to be mad. I winced, but kept going. So really? We have you two to thank for getting us together. Especially you. Jake. Who knew Scarlett was still untouched? Cheers to that. I'll drink to that one myself. Jake was grinding his teeth so hard I could hear it. Ethan. Gotta run. Scarlett and I have a wedding venue to check out. You two enjoy the rest of your road trip. Drive safe. By the way, don't get me wrong. I don't care about you. I just don't want to miss out on that wedding gift money. Click. Jake hung up before I could finish. Rude. We picked a hotel on Harbor Island for the wedding. We rented out every hotel and guest house on the island for the day. Guests could pick wherever they wanted to stay. The Carter and Pierce families arranged 2 private yachts to ferry guests back and forth. According to my dad, this wedding wasn't just about Scarlett and me. It was about the future of both Carter Group and Pierce Group. We'd be announcing the merger of our two companies at the wedding. Along with his retirement, all of it would be headline news. He told me not to mess this up. That every last detail had to be perfect. Relax. It's just a wedding. You'd think you'd never been to one before. My dad glared at me. You don't know Jack. Former simp turned groom. You're so cocky now you forgot who's boss. That night? My phone rang in the middle of the night. Unknown number. Not wanting to wake Scarlett, I grabbed the phone and went out to the living room. When I answered, Lila was sobbing hysterically on the other end. Ethan. Jake's a monster. He forced himself on me. He's a beast. It took me a minute to piece together what had happened. After they found out about Scarlett and me, they'd cut the trip short and driven straight back. Jake had completely snapped. Gone was his polite, gentlemanly act. He'd turned angry, volatile, ranting and raving the whole drive back, screaming about me and Scarlett nonstop. That night, they'd checked into an inn off Highway 318 in Zindukio, Kongding. They'd booked separate rooms. But Jake had followed Lila into hers under the pretense of helping with her luggage and picked her up as soon as the door closed. He said since I'd slept with Scarlett, he had to sleep with Lila to even the score. Otherwise he'd lose out. Lila fought back as hard as she could. But Jake was too strong. One thing led to another. And then, well, afterwards, Jake realized what he'd done and bailed, leaving Lila alone. He took the car with him. And then, I was wide awake now. I grabbed a handful of sunflower seeds from the coffee table. Then I called the police. They came, collected evidence, took my statement. That monster won't get away with this. I'm making sure he goes to jail. I nodded. Good. You should. That's it. Lila stopped crying. That's it. Why? Is there more? I finished my seeds and started feeling sleepy again. Do you have nothing to say to me? I was assaulted. Your fiancée was assaulted. And that's all you have to say. I corrected her. Fiancée. Let's get the terms right. Ethan. How did you become so cold? Lila started crying again. I was wrong. I shouldn't have listened to Jake. I shouldn't have gone on this trip right before the wedding. I regret it so much. Can't you forgive me? No. Do you really not have any feelings left for me at all? No. None. Ethan. I know you're still mad at me. Please don't be like this. I'm scared. Wait for me to come home. I'll take a taxi to Kongding Airport first thing tomorrow. Fly to Chengdu. Then catch a connecting flight back. That's your problem. My wife's calling me to bed. Jake was arrested the next morning. Lila texted me immediately to tell me. I told Scarlett the news. Your ex-boyfriend assaulted my ex-fiancée last night. He's been arrested. And my ex-fiancée's fly ing back to try and ruin our wedding. It was all so convoluted. Saying it out loud was a mouthful. Scarlett's eyes went wide. No way. That's so dramatic. Yeah. I didn't see that coming either. I asked her. Does it bother you that Jake's in jail? You two dated for 2 years. After all, it does feel a little weird. Scarlett nodded thoughtfully. We're out one cash wedding gift. That's for sure. Lila got back to the city at noon the next day. As soon as her plane landed, she texted me. Ethan. I'm back. Can you come pick me up at the airport? No. Then tell me where you are. I'll come to you. I'm busy. Then I'll go to the Pierce mansion. I'll find Scarlett and get to the bottom of this. Fine. I'll send my driver to pick you up. No. You have to come yourself. Wait by door 10 on the departures level. I filled Scarlett in on the plan. I'm a married man now. I can't go meeting exes without telling my wife first. Scarlett agreed right away, but she was coming with me. The extended Maybach pulled up to the curb by door 10 on the departures level. I spotted Lila immediately. She was standing by her suitcases. After almost a month away. She was tanner. Thinner. She looked terrible. Like she hadn't slept in days. The driver got out to help load her bags. Lila froze when she opened the car door. The car had a 222 seating layout. Scarlett and I were sitting in the second row. Obviously, Lila could either sit up front with the driver, or all the way in the back. She hadn't expected Scarlett to be there. She stood there frozen. Resentment written all over her face. That second row seat used to be hers. Her spot. Ms. Pierce. I prefer sitting here. Would you mind moving? Ethan and I have things to discuss. It'd be easier this way. Lila stared at Scarlett, waiting for a flicker of guilt or shame. Scarlett didn't give her the satisfaction. Habits change. Ms. Bennett. You'll have to get used to it. This is my husband's car. The wife's seat isn't for guests. You can sit in the third row, there's plenty of room. You can still talk just fine. Lila looked at me, pleading. Ethan. Do you agree with this? Whatever my wife says goes. Lila's face fell. Her eyes welled up. Hurry up. We can only park here for 8 minutes. I urged her. Lila pressed her lips together, head down, and walked silently to the back row. The car pulled smoothly onto the road, heading downtown. After a few minutes of silence, Lila spoke first. When did you two get together? I was about to answer, but one look from Scarlett told me she'd handle it. The first day you and Jake left for your Tibet road trip. Lila's voice rose. We barely left and you two already, that's so wrong. Wrong. What about the two of you, one engaged? One with a girlfriend running off on a month-long road trip alone together, ignoring how we felt. Was that not wrong? We were just Friday. Lila cut herself off. The word friend tasted bitter now. She couldn't even say it. Just thinking about what Jake had done to her that night made her want to slap herself. Ethan. Do you really not feel anything for me anymore? We were together 3 years. We were about to get married. And over one road trip, you turn around and marry someone else. Did you ever stop to think about how I'd feel? And what Jake did to me, I am a victim too. You can't just abandon me. Lila was staring daggers at the side of my face from the back seat. I couldn't even pretend to sleep. Scarlett was looking at me too. Guess my spokesperson was on strike. I'd have to answer for myself. First question. Yes. Second question. Flip it. We were about to get married. And you ran off on a road trip with your guy friend. I begged you not to go. But you went anyway. Did you think about how I'd feel? Third. Everyone has to face the consequences of their choices. I warned you something like this would happen. Right from the start. You didn't listen. Just because you're a victim doesn't mean I owe you anything. Do I look like some guy who's gonna clean up your messes for you? Lila panicked and grabbed my arm. No. You're just angry. You don't mean that. You won't leave me to deal with this alone. Will you? You loved me so much. When I wanted that deep-sea fish congee from Yongji. You drove all the way to Jiangtu night market in the middle of the night to get it. When my stomach hurt. You made me deer antler chicken soup every night. You gave up so much for my career, came to Bennett Corp as VP just to help me. Landed so many big contracts. Scarlett smiled politely. But it didn't reach her eyes. She pried Lila's hand off my arm and smoothed out the wrinkles in my sleeve. Hearing you say that, I realized just how great a husband I got. I'll have to try that Yongji fish congee tonight. What I don't get is if Ethan was that good to you. Why did you need a guy best friend? Why hire Jake as your assistant? Lila had no answer. She glared at Scarlett. Stay out of this. This is between Ethan and me. You don't get to have an opinion on our relationship. My voice turned cold. That's my wife you're talking to. Show her some respect. Or I'll have the driver pull over right now. You. Lila broke down sobbing. She lunged forward from the back seat and wrapped her arms around me. She screamed. Hysterical. Ethan. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Forgive me. Just this once. I'll apologize. I'll get on my knees and beg for forgiveness. Hit me. Yell at me. Whatever you want. Just don't leave me. I know I messed up. I really do. Divorce Scarlett. We can start over. I'll be the perfect wife this time. I'll change everything you want. Ethan. Please. Divorce her. We belong together. I twisted away from her. Furious. Wang. Pull over. The car pulled over immediately. Lila clung to the seat, refusing to get out. Ethan. Don't leave me. I'll change. I promise I'll change. Please. Just one more chance. I called Bennett Corp's driver and told him to come pick Lila up. 15 minutes later. He arrived. Lila's pride wouldn't let her break down in front of an employee. She took her time getting herself together in the car. Fixed her hair. Touched up her makeup. Then switched to the other car with a cold, blank face. Ethan. Are you coming back to work tomorrow? I shook my head. No. I've got a family company to run. Lila was about to get in her car when Scarlett called out to her. Wait a second. Scarlett pulled a red wedding invitation out of her bag. She held it out to Lila with a smile. You're invited to our wedding. The wedding day arrived right on schedule. The whole of Harbor Island was decorated like a fairy tale castle. A red carpet stretched from the ferry dock all the way to the venue. The Sunshine Holiday Hotel. Bright, lush flowers lined every winding stone path. Every bloom had been carefully chosen and arranged into romantic patterns. From above, it looked like a giant, vibrant painting of love spread across the whole island. The island's old buildings were draped in fine silk and strung with sparkling crystal lights. Luxury yachts lined the dock in perfect rows. Each hull was draped in flowers, their flags fluttering in the wind, embroidered with symbols of our names and our love. At the center of the venue stood a huge white crystal arch, encrusted with thousands of Swarovski crystals. On either side of the arch, fountains danced in time with the music. Water sprayed into the air, catching the light to make tiny rainbows. Hundreds of guests showed up. I scanned the crowd, but didn't see Lila anywhere. Good. I breathed a small sigh of relief. I'd sent the invitation as a petty jab. Nothing more. The last thing I wanted was my ex ruining the wedding we'd put so much work into. Soon, it was time for the ceremony. The wedding march began to play, and Scarlett walked toward me, arm in arm with Gregory, in a custom designer wedding gown. Just as the officiant was about to start the romantic vows, a loud voice suddenly rang out from the crowd. I object to this marriage. It was Arthur Bennett, Lila's father. Helen Bennett stood up right beside him. I hadn't seen them in the crowd at all. They'd come out of nowhere. They were holding a white banner with huge black letters on it. Groom Ethan Carter, Carter Group heir, is a heartless player who uses women. The crowd erupted in murmurs and gasps. Security rushed over to escort them out. Arthur held his phone high in the air. I'm live streaming this. Don't any of you dare touch me. I'm gonna show the whole world what kind of man the Carter Group heir really is. Helen wiped fake tears from her eyes and shouted, my daughter was engaged to Ethan Carter, the groom today, heir to Carter Group. A month ago, she went on a trip to Tibet. When she came back, she found he'd already married someone else, Saturday's bride, Scarlett Pierce, daughter of Pierce Group CEO. The crowd was shocked. Every eye in the room turned to Scarlett and me on stage. Helen went on, and what's even worse, Scarlett had a boyfriend of 2 years herself. One had a fiancée. One had a boyfriend. And they ran off and got married out of nowhere. Then bragged about it all over social media. When my daughter came back and begged him to reconsider 3 years of history, he and Scarlett dumped her on the side of the road. They didn't care what happened to her. The guests looked stunned. A lot of them knew me, and had seen our wedding announcement online. So Helen's story sounded pretty believable to them. Just then, my assistant Victor walked onto the stage with a tablet, looking grave. The screen showed Arthur's live stream. Thousands of people were watching, and the number was climbing fast. The comments were pouring in. So the player and the cheater got together. Perfect match. This is messed up. These rich heirs look perfect on the outside, but they're total messes behind closed doors. I'm in my 40s and can't get a date. Some people have all the luck. Boycott Carter Group and Pierce Group. Victor asked, Mr. Carter, should we roll out Plan B? I glanced at Scarlett. She didn't look panicked at all. She even smirked at me. Gregory, on the other hand, was shaking with rage. I told Victor to handle it, then took the microphone from the officiant. You're Lila's parents. You came here today to ruin my wedding, and to ruin Scarlett and me. Guess I gave you too much credit for having decency. Helen held up her phone, pointing it at me. On the video call, Lila's face stared back. She was smiling a bitter, vindictive smile. The kind that says if she can't have it, no one can. Surprise. Ethan, I gave my parents the invitation. They're here to give you and Scarlett a wedding present from me. Ha ha ha. I shook my head. Resigned. I was gonna hold back. Try to keep this from getting too ugly. But you know what? Screw it. Let's lay all the cards on the table. Roll the tape. Lila's face fell. What are you doing? Victor had already plugged a USB drive into the computer hooked up to the big screen behind us. The screen lit up. First, screenshots of social media posts. Jake in front of the G63. Caption: Your knight is about to take his queen on the adventure of a lifetime. The two of them in meow clothing. Drinking a cross-arm toast in Kiandongnan. Photo after photo of them together along Highway 318. Then, audio played the recording of Lila's late-night call. Sobbing about what Jake had done to her. Ethan. Jake's a monster. He forced himself on me. He's a beast. Then, video from the car the day we picked Lila up at the airport. Ethan. Do you really not feel anything for me anymore? And what Jake did to me, I am a victim too. You can't just abandon me. Ethan. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Forgive me. Just this once. I'll apologize. I'll get on my knees and beg. Hit me. Yell at me. Whatever. Just don't leave me. I know I messed up. The whole venue went silent. Arthur and Helen froze in place. How do you have all this? You recorded your calls with Lila. You filmed her in the car. That's so underhanded. Lila's smile dropped. She stared at me in disbelief. I spoke calmly. The day I decided to end things with a fiancé who had no boundaries. She stopped being someone I owed anything to. When you deal with people you can't trust, you cover your bases. Turns out it was a good call. The crowd started murmuring again. This time a different tone. Now all the judgment was aimed at Lila's parents. So that's what really happened. The Bennetts are awful. They lied to ruin this beautiful wedding. The online backlash was even worse. The live stream comments blew up. Wow. That was a quick turnaround. Lila's the real villain here. She was about to get married and went on a month-long road trip with her guy friend. No wonder he called it off. I would have too. Guy friend my ass. He was just a side piece waiting to happen. Feel bad for Ethan. His ex ruined his wedding. Same here. Ethan. Come get a hug. Same. Bye now. Arthur and Helen were pale as ghosts. All their fire was gone. They shut off the live stream. Folded up their banner. And tried to sneak away. Wait a minute. I had security stop them. What? What else do you want? You've already ruined my daughter's life. She'll never show her face in public again. My voice was ice cold. She brought this on herself. Go tell Lila I'm pulling every last resource I put into Bennett Corp, all the funding. All the contracts, all of it. And I'm not letting today slide. We have footage of everything. Including your little live stream. You'll be hearing from my lawyers. Arthur went white. You can't do this. The drama delayed the ceremony a little. But our celebrity officiant got things back on track quickly. The rest of the wedding went off without a hitch. My dad and Gregory grumbled about the Bennetts for a while. Then went back to toasting each other. My dad took the stage to announce his retirement. And told everyone he'd recommended me to the board as the new CEO and president of Carter Group. Then Carter Group and Pierce Group signed a partnership agreement right there at the wedding. Merging their operations across multiple sectors. After the wedding, the story stayed at the top of the trending lists for days. Carter-Pierce merger, Ethan Carter named Carter Group CEO. Ex-fiancé wedding crash, total backfire. Road trip before wedding, groom marries best friend's girlfriend. Lila Bennett assaulted by guy friend. Without my funding and contracts. Bennett Corp collapsed fast. Lila went from being a high and mighty CEO to a deadbeat who could only afford second-class train tickets. Only then did she realize her company hadn't succeeded because she was some genius CEO. It succeeded because I'd propped it up with Carter Group's resources. Handed her success on a silver platter. She tried to reach out a few more times. Begging me to save Bennett Corp. I said no every time. Then blocked her on everything. We went our separate ways. No hard feelings, just no more anything. A year later. Scarlett and I welcomed our first child. A baby boy. With big eyes just like his mom. Let's name him Ryan. Scarlett blinked. Confused. Is there a special meaning behind it? Benevolence. Righteousness. Propriety. Wisdom. Faithfulness. Gentleness. Kindness. Respect. Frugality. Modesty. Oh. I get it. That makes the name so meaningful. You're so smart. Honey. Smart. Nah. What I mean is, those are 10 virtues. And we've only got one kid so far. You still owe me 9 more. Come on. Wifey, we got a lot of making up to do. A second later. My yelp of pain turned on every motion sensor light in the hallway. Hey there. Could you rate this story in the comments? Use a scale of 1 to 10. Please, I am begging you. It really means a lot to me. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit follow.